green hydrogen is more than a buzzword, it is increasingly recognized as one of the most versatile tools for decarbonizing hard-to-abate sectors. From steelmaking to heavy transport and long-duration energy storage, hydrogen produced by splitting water with renewable electricity can replace fossil-based feedstocks without emitting carbon dioxide at the point of use. But not all green hydrogen strategies are created equal. Most projects have focused on scale, massive centralized plants in sunny deserts or windy coasts, where renewable power is cheapest, with the hydrogen then shipped thousands of kilometers to the industries that need it. Lhyfe, a French renewable hydrogen producer, has chosen a different path. Its approach emphasizes local production, direct connections to renewable energy sources, and early compliance with Europe's toughest certification standard, RFNBO, or Renewable Fuel of Non-Biological Origin. In this video, we'll dive deep into why Lhyfe's approach stands apart, examine its numbers, unpack the regulatory landscape, and explore what it means for the future of green hydrogen. To understand why Lhyfe is different, let's start with its origins. Founded in 2017, Lhyfe set out to prove that green hydrogen could be produced not just in remote megaprojects but in the very communities and industrial zones where it would be consumed. The company's first commercial-scale site, in Bouin on France's Atlantic coast, came online in 2021. Instead of relying on grid electricity that might include fossil power, Bouin was directly tied to a nearby wind farm. This ensured that every molecule of hydrogen was verifiably renewable. At full output, the site could produce roughly 300 kilograms per day. That's small by global standards, but it demonstrated the concept. Localized production can deliver hydrogen without the costs and emissions of long-distance transport. Over the next few years, Lhyfe expanded aggressively. By September 2025, 3 additional plants in France and Germany achieved RFNBO certification, joining Bouin to create a portfolio totaling 21 megawatts of installed electrolyzer capacity, about 8.3 metric tons of hydrogen per day. That made Lhyfe Europe's largest RFNBO-certified producer by capacity. This matters because RFNBO certification is not just a label, it's a regulatory passport. Under the European Union's Renewable Energy Directive II and its delegated acts, only hydrogen meeting strict conditions can count toward renewable energy targets or qualify for certain subsidies. Those conditions include additionality, proving that the electricity used is genuinely renewable and not diverted from the grid, temporal correlation matching hydrogen production with renewable generation, moving from monthly to hourly matching by 2030, and geographic correlation, ensuring the renewable source and the electrolyzer are in the same bidding zone or interconnected region. By designing its plants for direct renewable connections and smart power purchase agreements, Lhyfe has positioned itself ahead of competitors that will need to retrofit or recertify their projects to comply. The regulatory tightening is not hypothetical. Beginning in 2027, EU member states will have the option to enforce hourly matching between hydrogen production and renewable electricity. By 2030, this requirement will become the norm across the bloc. Many developers who assumed they could buy grid power, purchase renewable energy certificates, and call their product green will find those strategies no longer sufficient. For industrial buyers under pressure to decarbonize, only RFNBO qualified hydrogen will count toward compliance or corporate net zero goals. Lhyfe's early move into certification thus provides both credibility and a pricing premium. Another pillar of Lhyfe's differentiation is its decentralization strategy. Most large-scale green hydrogen projects envision building multi-hundred megawatt or even gigawatt-scale electrolyzers in locations with abundant cheap renewables, like the Atacama Desert or Australia's Pilbara region. The hydrogen would then be liquefied, compressed, or converted to ammonia for shipment to Europe or Asia. This approach can, in theory, deliver low production costs, but it introduces significant logistics costs, energy losses in conversion and transport, and long lead times for building pipelines, ports, and storage. Lhyfe flips the model, build smaller to mid-sized plants close to demand, steel mills, chemical plants, trucking depots, and tie them directly to local wind or solar farms. By eliminating long-distance transport, Lhyfe cuts 30 euro cents to €1 or more per kilogram from delivered cost, depending on distance and format. The shorter supply chain also reduces emissions associated with compression, boil-off, or shipping. This strategy even extends offshore. Lhyfe is piloting offshore hydrogen production platforms that connect directly to offshore wind farms. Instead of routing the electricity back to shore and through the grid, these platforms could use wind power on-site to produce hydrogen, which can then be piped or shipped ashore. Offshore production could unlock vast renewable resources and sidestep grid bottlenecks, an increasingly pressing issue as European grids strain under the influx of variable renewables. The concept also dovetails with Europe's push for energy sovereignty. Producing hydrogen at sea and landing it directly in domestic ports avoids geopolitical supply risks associated with importing hydrogen or ammonia from distant regions. Let's delve into the cost dynamics. Electrolysis efficiency is a crucial determinant of hydrogen's levelized cost. A typical proton exchange membrane (PEM) electrolyzer today operates at about 65 to 70% efficiency when accounting for balance of plant losses, consuming 55 to 58 kilowatt-hours of electricity per kilogram of hydrogen. At an electricity price of €40 per megawatt-hour, a plausible rate for long-term wind or solar power purchase agreements, the electricity cost per kilogram is €2.20 to €2.32. If power prices climb to €80 per megawatt-hour, that cost doubles to €4.40 to €4.64. Capital expenditures, operations and maintenance, water supply, compression, and distribution add further costs, often bringing today's delivered cost of green hydrogen in Europe to €6 to €10 per kilogram. Globally, many sources quote a range of $4.50 to $6.50 per kilogram for projects coming online today. Cutting even 50 euro cents per kilogram can make a decisive difference in project economics, hence the appeal of local siting and short logistics chains. Consider a hypothetical, a 20 megawatt electrolyzer operating at 4,000 full load hours per year, a 45% capacity factor. At €40 per megawatt hour electricity, annual electricity costs for 3,600 metric tons of hydrogen would be roughly €8 million. Transporting that hydrogen 200 kilometers by truck at 60 euro cents per kilogram would add €2.1 million per year. Placing the electrolyzer at the customer's doorstep would eliminate most of that transport cost and reduce associated emissions, a straightforward economic and environmental win. Lhyfe's Lhyfe project illustrates the scalability of its model. Supported by €149 million in French and European funding, this 100 megawatt plant will be capable of producing up to 34 metric tons of hydrogen per day. While significantly larger than Buin, it retains the core philosophy: connect production closely to renewable sources and nearby industrial demand. By combining economies of scale with localized siting, Lhyfe aims to bridge the gap between distributed micro plants and mega export projects. This hybrid approach could prove resilient in a market where policy shifts, supply chain disruptions, or community opposition can derail centralized strategies. The competitive landscape reinforces the importance of Lhyfe's choices. Players like Plug Power, Nel ASA, Iberdrola, and Fertiberia have announced multi-hundred megawatt projects, many tied to export strategies. These giants bring scale and experience but may face challenges meeting RFNBO rules if their electricity sourcing or production timing is not tightly matched to renewables. Meanwhile, Europe's hydrogen strategy calls for 10 million metric tons of domestic renewable hydrogen production by 2030. Meeting that target will require both large centralized projects and smaller distributed hubs. Lhyfe's approach positions it to serve industrial customers that need RFNBO-certified hydrogen sooner rather than later, without waiting for massive infrastructure build-outs. Market dynamics are also shifting. The International Energy Agency recently revised its forecast for low-emissions hydrogen demand in 2030 downward, citing slower project development and policy uncertainty. Yet the EU's Fit for 55 package, national hydrogen strategies, and corporate decarbonization commitments still signal robust demand for truly green hydrogen. In a tightening market, molecules that are verifiably compliant and available will command a premium. Lhyfe's early certification is thus more than a regulatory checkbox, it's a commercial advantage. From an environmental standpoint, Lhyfe's local production model minimizes lifecycle emissions. While electrolysis produces no direct CO2, emissions can creep in through grid electricity with fossil components, long-distance transport, or hydrogen liquefaction. By co-locating production with wind and solar, Lhyfe ensures low-carbon electricity input. By supplying nearby customers, it reduces transport-related emissions. For industries facing scrutiny over Scope 3 emissions, every gram counts. Hydrogen that can be traced to a nearby wind turbine and delivered without a long supply chain offers a compelling sustainability story. The investor perspective is equally important. Financing green hydrogen projects is complex. Lenders and equity investors evaluate offtake agreements, policy support, technology risk, and cost structures. RFNBO certification de-risks revenue streams by ensuring the hydrogen will remain compliant under EU rules. Localized production can secure offtake faster, as industrial customers may prefer hydrogen delivered next door rather than imported ammonia cracked back into hydrogen. Smaller, modular plants can also be scaled incrementally, reducing upfront capital risk. These features make Lhyfe's projects potentially more bankable than some massive but uncertain export ventures. Yet challenges remain. Distributed plants must secure reliable renewable electricity supply, water sources, and local permits. Smaller units may lack some economies of scale, raising per unit capital costs. Renewable intermittency can cause electrolyzers to ramp up and down, affecting efficiency and lifetime. Lhyfe addresses these by integrating flexible operations, exploring storage options, and carefully choosing sites. Still, these are non-trivial hurdles that require expertise, a reminder that localized production is not a shortcut but a strategic choice. Looking to the future, watch for 3 developments. First, Lhyfe's offshore pilot projects will test whether hydrogen production at sea can be safe, reliable, and cost-effective. Success here could open vast offshore wind resources and reduce grid congestion. Second, the commissioning of the Lhyfe plant will reveal whether Lhyfe can scale its model while maintaining its RFNBO advantage. Third, partnerships or acquisitions could accelerate its growth. Larger industrial players might seek to buy into Lhyfe's certified supply chain to secure compliant hydrogen volumes. For developers and consultants, Lhyfe's trajectory offers a case study in aligning technical choices with regulatory trends. Rather than chasing the lowest nominal power price anywhere on Earth, Lhyfe chose to prioritize proximity, certification, and flexibility. This suggests that in the hydrogen economy's early years, before infrastructure is fully built out, speed to market and compliance can outweigh theoretical cost minimization. For investors, it's a reminder that the green hydrogen market is not a monolith. Strategies will diverge, and diversification may be prudent. This localized model also has social and political implications. By producing hydrogen within communities, Lhyfe can create visible jobs and economic benefits where the hydrogen is consumed. That can build public acceptance, an underappreciated factor in large energy transitions. Residents may be more supportive of a wind-powered electrolyzer supplying a local factory than of a distant megaproject exporting ammonia halfway across the world. Public acceptance can accelerate permitting and reduce opposition, which is critical as hydrogen scales. Finally, there's a broader lesson here: adaptability is everything. Hydrogen markets are evolving quickly, with technology improvements, policy shifts, and competitive dynamics reshaping the landscape. Companies that can pivot, by matching production with renewables in real time, by reconfiguring supply chains, or by scaling flexibly, will be better positioned to thrive. Lhyfe's approach demonstrates that sometimes, smaller and smarter beats bigger and slower. As Europe tightens RFNBO standards and global players vie for position, the race is on to prove who can deliver truly green hydrogen at competitive costs. Lhyfe has made its bet: local, certified, and flexible. Whether this strategy becomes a dominant paradigm or one of several viable pathways remains to be seen. But one thing is clear: for now, Lhyfe has set itself apart as a pioneer willing to rethink the fundamentals of green hydrogen supply. For professionals, consultants, and investors navigating this fast-moving sector, staying informed is essential. The nuances of RFNBO compliance, cost structures, and project siting can determine whether a project succeeds or fails. If you're ready to go deeper, access exclusive financial models, detailed case studies, and a network of peers shaping the hydrogen economy, join us at h2hub.renewable. H2Hub is Renewable Energy's premium platform designed to give developers, consultants, and investors the actionable intelligence and ready-to-use tools they need to accelerate their projects and seize the opportunities of the hydrogen revolution. Thank you for watching and for being part of the community driving the clean energy transition. Subscribe to Renewable Energy's channel for more insights, and visit H2Hub today to take your green hydrogen expertise to the next level.